and welcome to Critical Tumble, where a bunch of longtime friends and nerdy-ass Tumblr users transcend geography through the power of Discord to play Dungeons and Dragons, and critically fumble a lot. Once again, hopefully not tonight. Previously, the Cupcake Coterie went into the Cabreval mining tunnels to try to cull the purple worm Bitey after some leave us simply say, heated debate with a bunch of natural philosopher types in one of the up and under saloon type things. They finally got a method by which to track the specific purple worm they were supposed to cull. They had to tell an awful lot about themselves to get that far, but you know, once you get a whole bunch of effectively field biologists who are getting into the whole conservation of the species elements of things have to be done. It was a thing. But they got what they were after. You know, lots and lots of storytelling and several blood samples later. And wound up in a spot that looked like around about the right sort of area, and they were going to set up a base camp while they went out hunting. And while they were in the middle of setting up their base camp, pitch black for everybody. We'll start with Clarity and Barnabas. The second the lights go out, Barnabas feels a rather delicate child's hand take his and grasp it in a surprisingly strong grip for a child. And Clarity feels a delicate and gentle but still firm hand on her shoulder, and hears very quietly in her ear, "Wait. This is Her Majesty." Barnabas doesn't hear that, he just gets grab. The individual who's grabbed him is kind of not at ear level for a Minotaur, so, you know. There's a count of 1, 2, 3. The lights go back up. Hazel, Alice A., Remy, Darvin, Ava, and Froseth are gone. The standing behind Clarity with a hand on her shoulder is that opal-eyed, raven-wing-haired archfey lady. And holding Barnabas's hand is that human child whose eyes look like he's seen far, far too much. Blonde, barefoot, dressed in a fairly plain white shift. Let's go, and steps back to the side of Her Majesty. And it's the boy who speaks. "Terribly sorry about that, but you're not exactly whisperable at. And we didn't really want to call any attention to the two of you."
Yeah.
What? That's...
Head snaps to Clarity. What?
Yeah, Her Majesty has sort of stepped back so that, Barnabas at the very least can behold her in all her majesty. Because this is an archfey who is looking to impress. There's an awful lot of majesty there.
Where did everyone go?
Yeah, she does look like I really hate to have to do this. And looks at the young man. The joys of service. His Majesty is a little bit aggravated. I think Her Majesty would be better at this if she likened it unto a story time situation. Ah, yes, I am rather good at story time. Him. Once upon a time, a very long time ago, there was a young elven gentleman who lived a simple, fairly idyllic life until an evil wind whisked him away to some absolutely empty, fully static nether plane, there to leave him to be effectively tortured. One of my husband and my vassals happened to notice his plight, reported back to us, of course. And it's against our nature to do that kind of, to get involved in that way for free. But we were minded to what generosity we could manage, so we sent our primary squire, and the little boy gives a bow, with an offer. We will release you, and we will grant you power. All you need do is swear yourself to our service. Now, we'd kind of expected him to come back and attempt some sort of solidification of the terms of that arrangement. He never quite got around to it. He never quite got around to any of the sort of service that I, at least, was actually expecting of him. It was, all I really wanted was for him to experience the world through eyes that hadn't seen this part of it ever, and would be happy and grateful to be a part of a world of color and friendship and light again, and that never happened. My husband was marginally more happy with the chaos and disorder he sowed, particularly among the group. I mean, he nearly split them up somewhat. That was a little bit distressing, but he was even more distressed when they managed to patch themselves back together, although he was rather charmed by the fact that it forced the rather stoic and drawn dragonborn to actually vent some of his greatest fears, which you never really want to do in the presence of His Majesty of Chaos and Misrule, but never mind. In any case, we were hoping, both of us, in our own unique ways, that he would be slightly less of a disappointment. And then he broke his contract without so much as a by your leave. Well, he did give a sort of a apologies to the air, and then wandered off to where not even we can specifically follow. Now, you see, I wasn't going to throw good time after bad. He's made his choice. I've thrown a bit of power in his general direction. He never actually used any of what I provided for him, so I had much more interesting prospects anyway, and I'm much more minded towards generosity than I was with the other one, and more so than my husband. My husband, as you can imagine, was rather livid, and he found something of a loophole. You see, your friends, they vowed, in their own ways, to aid the elven gentleman in his appeasement of his patrons. No one ever said anything about the fact that... No one ever said that the elf had to actually be among you. So he's decided that it's another one of those tourney he wants amusement situations. Now, I was able to negotiate somewhat for the two of you, because you hardly engaged with the elf. You never even met him. Gesturing in Barnabas, and he looks again, and oh, you are adorable. But you're not either of ours. You're staid and solid and dependable, and your whimsy is accidental, and you attempt to minimize chaos wherever you go. So My husband wasn't overly interested in you, and as for you, gestures of clarity, well, he knows better than to touch my things. No offense, but I have to put it that way, or he throws you into the arena with the rest, and you really don't want that. So I managed to keep you both out of it.
Well, I appreciate that. Don't want to be involved. I'm worried about the others, though.
Yes, you probably should be. There's not a great deal I can do about that. I'm not permitted into that wing of our estates at the moment, and there's limits to how much I can get involved. I can get slightly involved, just not enough to entirely spare them. There's in fact only 2 cases where I can't intervene before it gets unfortunate by the terms he set for the various competitions. I would explain more, but I can't do that either. Leave us simply say that 2 of them, the conditions on them do involve a death. Now, there's ways around that. I mean, you have a couple of them that can do things if I can get everyone back together in a timely enough manner, or it works out in certain ways, but I can't affect that. But I can probably snatch the rest if they fail, so that failure doesn't mean their end. Maybe. When you have an archfey of equal power, it's something of an issue.
Right. There's a lot of vagary there around a death.
If I could say more, do you think I would not be doing so by now?
No, I understand that, but I'm just very concerned about my friend.
I understand that. And as I said, you should be. I am
Right.
telling you all that I can at this moment.
I understand.
And reaches into a pocket that doesn't look like it should really hold anything and brings out a gold coin, which a dragon about the length of your index finger is clinging. Puppy? The dragon sort of looks up and is offering it to you.
Thank you.
It is clinging to the coin. If you spend the coin, the dragon goes with it. It doesn't speak Draconic. It doesn't speak Sylvan either. Puppy. It's a consolation. It's all I can do.
I'm so confused right now.
All confused.
Well,
Okay.
I'll be back when I have more news. But at the very least, you are not in the arena. That's a certainty. And you have Puppy. And poof, she and the little boy are gone.
Yes.
I'm gonna let Barnabas do whatever he's gonna do before I get into the rest of you.
You see, I had to take a second here because Barnabas knows Jack of the Squad. The fact. Personally, this is a long, multi-campaign running. Fuck bang.
Yeah, so I'll give you guys a couple of minutes. Character moments. Feed us, please.
What you bid this on? I have no idea what's going on. What is this?
Okay. I gotta see if I understand. So, your patron's husband is pissed at everybody else for something that I don't understand. Yes? Okay.
You
So,
remember?
go ahead.
You remember that elf that we've mentioned?
No, she said he. Remember, Her Majesty said he hadn't met Nye at all.
Right, but I feel like we've mentioned him.
Oh yeah, you've definitely mentioned him. So yeah, okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So you know that elf that we mentioned a few times, who went with everybody before. His name was Nye, or I think Erin sometimes. But his patrons, one of them was that lady.
Mm-hmm.
Now my patron.
Mm-hmm.
But the other one is not so nice, and doesn't give you random coin and dragon combinations.
And just sort of peep and licks your hand a couple of times, and then just sort of curls up around the gold coin.
Nice dragon.
Okay. All right, practicality. Do you have any idea where they've been taken?
Sounds. She's mentioned his estate, so somewhere where he's in control. I don't know exactly. I do know that he used to have them sometimes fight things for his amusement.
She
So I'm
mentioned
guessing.
an arena. Okay. How do we get there to get them out?
That's beyond my capabilities.
Mm-hmm.
That, I mean, they could be literally anywhere in any of the planes, basically. So, not even here in this one.
Mm-hmm.
Right. We're basically stuck. We're stuck in the middle of the mines by ourselves, kind of hunting a purple worm, abandoned by everything.
And very quietly, we're still watching.
Okay, well, you know, we have people behind us, around us. You know, our friends are gone, and we don't have any means of getting to them.
With all the gesticulating, the dragon is sort of dead. One claw is still around the coin. The other one is kind of trying to gently dig claws into the palm, so not hurting, but trying to stay stable.
Oh, sorry. Just, I talk a bit with my hands. So, you know, it's, yeah. It's cool. Big old pickle.
You have a talent to understand.
Be right back, 30 seconds.
Okay. So, first of all, you and I, can't handle this. We need to get back. ASAP.
But that would involve traveling on your own.
We've been it took us hours to get here.
Mm-hmm.
I think perhaps we should hunker down in case they come back.
The tent is set up.
We could just...
Yeah, okay, you got a good point. I don't want to just abandon everybody.
No. So, let's camp. Hope for the best. Maybe if they're not back in a couple hours, we'll readdress things.
For lack of a better idea, I guess that's what we got.
So you guys are camping. Oops, sorry, go ahead. Because you went quiet.
While we're camping, we're gonna sort of take turns watching, make sure there are no worms coming.
Well, we'll start with who's taking first watch.
Barnabas is.
Perception check from Barnabas.
Oh no.
Yeah, his perception's not that bad. Come on, less of the oh no. Save some of that for you.
Yeah, the oh no is more of, what are you gonna dump on them while they're out here?
You don't know.
Because we're boned. I have no idea what you're subjecting them to.
You're not hearing any evidence of purple worms or much of anything else actually. You do in the course of about half an hour, over the course of about half an hour, hear something, but it turns up to be random spectral kittens, which seem to basically appear out of nowhere, gamble around your hooves for your amusement, and then disappear again. I mean, if Clarity will hear that, if she looks out, she'll see the gambling spectral kittens. This is apparently Her Majesty's way of trying to cheer people up.
Worried, but that helps.
Okay, well, we'll leave them bewildered at Milady Whimsy's attempts at settling people somewhat. And who do we start with? Eeny, meeny, money. Ava.
I had a feeling it would be that.
All else fails, start with the alphabet. You're pretty good with terrain, so you feel it when the slightly uneven rocks under your feet change to carpet over well-polished stone.
Is it still pitch black, or can I?
When the lights come back up, I pause for effect sometimes. When the lights come back up, you recognize this place. This is your old bedroom. And there is a smell of smoke and baking heat coming from the doorway. Well, the door.
No.
Above you, if you look up, there's no ceiling. What there is a long stone corridor and a simple knotted rope trailing up into effective blackness.
Can I hear any voices or sounds?
You hear screaming. You don't know who from, and the crackle of flames, the occasional collapse of walls and support beams, the sounds from that night.
This is not real. This is not real.
The heat feels real enough. If you're
rope's going upwards.
Yep. If you're looking at your window, it does appear to be very well walled up.
Which it wasn't
Yeah.
in the past.
Yeah. The room might not be what it's meant to be, but... And around that frustrated sigh point is the point at which the walls burst into flames.
Oh, Christ. Well, I guess you want me to go that way.
This is where His Majesty is being unendingly cruel to you.
Oh no!
Make me an athletics check.
Yes, ma'am. That's not my strong suit, but never mind. 11.
You're not climbing remotely fast enough. It's the fear of the fire and the fear of heights have kind of got you stuck. So you clambered up to the first knot, kind of let go, and it's only the fact that you're wearing red dragon hide that's
Keeping...
for now, and even that's not going to last for very long. Try again.
Come on, Ava, you can do this. Another athletics check.
Yep.
15.
You manage to get a ways up the rope. There is nothing lighting your way at this point, and you are not tall enough to reach the walls on either side, unless you want to try swinging.
At this point, give it a whirl.
Unfortunately, this is where you make me another athletics check.
Well, I'm gonna, before I do, can I pull out the sword that lights up and see if I can...
You will be at disadvantage if you, because, I mean, one hand, this,
Yeah.
if you've ever, you probably didn't, but every North American here will remember the ropes in high school gym.
I mean, I haven't done it, but yeah,
Those
so maybe.
fucking.
Yeah, but this is what you're dealing with.
Okay. Well, then I'll keep my both hands then. Well, I'll try swinging, I guess. Done.
Okay, make me a dex save.
Oh, Christ. Well, I better attack at least.
When you try to swing, the walls sort of around and below you, the fire climbs up.
Mm-hmm.
And terrified, you let go, but you manage, after falling a few feet, to grab hold. You take 5 points of what I can only call rope burn damage. But you have not fallen into the inferno below.
That sucks. 5 points, was it?
Yep.
Do I have any idea what this is? Do you want to...
Nope, nobody's told you shit.
Yeah.
All you've currently got is, down there is on fire!
Well, I guess I'm trying again. Get away from the flames.
Oh, keep on climbing, athletics check.
Can I use my human resilience to give myself advantage?
Once per... I'm gonna say once per short rest, in this case. You can't just spam it.
Yeah, no, not every time. Just
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna use it every time, just this time. Try and get a way up, at least. 16.
Yeah, panic helps. Panic helps. Panic helps, and not trying to do anything particularly tricky. The whatever it is that you're climbing still goes up into dark, but down below you can still see because the fire continues to climb.
Keep going.
Athletics check.
Come on. 18.
You're
Getting the hang of it.
Yeah, you're getting the hang of it. I mean, you're starting to hurt, but unfortunately, what is not being told to you as the fire continues to creep up the walls is how much further you have to go. You have already climbed a good 30 feet by this point. So now you're also aware that while down there is on fire, it's also a long way down.
can't stay still, so I gotta get moving. No, that's not good. 6.
Make me a dex save.
Mm,
This better be good.
yeah. 12. Not great.
You grab for the rope as your exhausted arms give way, and you miss.
Oh,
You plummet for a good 15 feet, and you feel the flames baking all around you for about 2 seconds. And then you take 5 points of falling damage as you land in what appears to be a pile of scree from a mining situation. Barnabas, who is still on watch, was at the other end of the tent, but he hears that. And Ava is lying right about there. Face flushed. Some significant ow on her palms. And looking kinda freaked out right to shit.
Are you okay?
oh, thank God it's you. Are you okay?
Nothing happened to us. Never mind. What happened?
That was awful.
Uh,
What was that?
around about that point, a voice that I think it's only Ava that's of the three of you that's actually heard His Majesty. Although even then, I think it was mostly the boy who was working in his capacity as His Majesty Squire. So, but you can generally tell the voice of, you know, Iron Fist, Velvet Glove, absolute living shit of a human being, and far too amused at your discomfort. Well, you did better than I expected. Not as badly as some did, though. I won some very interesting trinkets off you.
Do I recognize the voice?
No, but you're pretty sure that's... You've been through shit like this before. This is just worse of the same thing. You don't know why, but
Of course it was you.
Did we hear that?
yeah, all three of you heard that. But Clarity can guess who that is as well. Given, well, both of you can, given you actually know where she went, or, you know, at the very least why she went there.
His Majesty took you?
Yeah, looks like it.
Of course, then Ava notices that it's only those two.
Wait. Why is it just you two? Where are the others?
Everyone else was taken.
But not you?
Well, I think Her Majesty, for the two of us, seeing as we weren't part of Nye's agreement, he considered you all to have made a bit of a side bargain.
Ava will remember that they did offer to help Nye with his obligations to His Majesty, and given that he left, he's not in any condition to meet his obligations at all. I mean, Ava knows noble bargains. They can be shitheads.
He's punishing us because Nod left. Aaron left.
Did
By
the
gods.
others?
Well, judging by what he did to me, I hate to think what the others going through.
That would be a no
You were alone?
too. Yeah.
Sorry?
You were alone.
Yeah, but if what he did to if the others are going through similar stuff, you're not going to be much more.
On that note, Darvin, before the lights come on for Darvin, he also feels he's not as good as identifying it as Ava is, but he feels the feel of the floor under his feet change, become more solid, more even, smoother. And when the lights come back on, actually a second before they do, what he feels on his face is it's kind of sea mist, and he can smell sea air. It's the smell of home. And when the lights come up, it's not the Star Coast Manor banquet hall, but it's a similar kind of a feel. He's standing round about there at what would be the main entry doors if there were any doors. There should be doors, but there aren't. Seated at the long banquet table are humanoids, bipedal, dressed in the kind of finery that he recognized from various fancy parties from Star Coast nobility, but their faces are smooth and almost featureless under carefully done hairstyles. And it's all very, very quiet. There are 2 fireplaces, but in the center, just between them, appears to be a stake for the burning. A man, you've actually seen His Majesty. You've never heard him, but you've seen him. Stands up from the head of the table. Your challenge, Sir Bard. You will get through this evening without offending a soul. You will entertain them. Truly entertain them. They will have faces by the end of the evening, or you will be ash. And then he's gone. And there you are, in the dead silent room. And a seat opens up right about there. You're just going to keep standing there?
I will... Darvin looks down the line of faces.
Such
Well,
as they are.
faces. Yeah. Right. Well, I'm going to entertain you. Let's do this right. And he reaches in, pulls out his viol.
Which he does have.
Mm-hmm. Oh, believe me, yeah.
Well, you didn't ask.
I didn't ask, but yeah. And so he he'll start playing, and he will start and proceed to play, starting with. He's going to start with. He's basically going to play the campaign at this point. He's going to start and just go through just about every event, but then when he gets to the part where they met Nye and all the various hijinks and such that Nye got up to, that's getting played up like a lot.
Well, before we go too much further into that, first make me a performance check.
All right. 24.
You managed to get to meeting him before the finery-dressed, faceless individuals stand up and en masse mob you. Because that seat was left open for a reason, and you didn't even think to check. So, I mean, they are... It's zombie mob / Ewoks tying up Han and Luke kind of thing at this point. Are you doing anything?
Yeah. As they're tying him up, he's going to shout, "I knew full well what you wanted. However, I'm a bard. If you want me to entertain, I'm going to do it my way. And if I must be Ash as a result, then so be it."
Oh God. Oh God, what did you just do?
We had nothing to do with your agreement. He left. He paid for it.
At which point, your own words encouraging him are played back to you. Ethan. Oh God. As long as you were making an attempt, Her Majesty could save you. Oh fuck. Now we roll the hand of fate.
I mean, I'm struggling, yeah, but he's not going to fall into line.
I get it. I do.
Okay.
It's just a bit of phrasing. Just one bit of phrasing was a problem, so I'm going to roll the hand of fate. Okay. Okay, how much can I get away with here?
Trader's Bahamut, this was probably a bad idea, but
20.
I will not go along with this.
You take 37 points of fire damage over the course of a fairly unpleasant while of burning before, frankly, the pain is getting a bit much, and while you're obviously not repenting, you're very much rethinking the "if I have to go to Ash, so be it" thing.
Yeah, there's defiant screaming, but at the same time in the middle, it's like defiant scream. Okay, yes, this was a bad idea, but still, yes, this was a bad idea, but still, just over and over and over and over and over.
Yes, but at the same time, it's over half your hit points before the "I don't want to die" comes through, and you close your eyes against the pain, and the support at your back is gone, and you fall smoldering with a clunk in that mining cart, because it's the only thing that's not going to burst into flames in contact with the rest of your gear. You're still screaming. You hurt. You still hurt so damn bad. So by this point, you three are hearing the screaming. The way I see it, you guys went back into the tent to try to have some kind of conversation between watches, and all of a sudden the screaming starts.
I run out.
And you see burned hand. No, there's. Sorry, Ethan. You're in significant pain. Screaming is going to happen, particularly given that now there's...
It's still screaming.
Still screaming. Okay, yes.
My bad. No. Still screaming, flailing, smoking hand can be seen above the...
Yeah, hands in a couple of feet.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how my limbs work at this point. What's left of them to try to...
He was some bits of his clothes are still kind of smoldering, but a lot. I mean, thankfully his purple coat is largely magical, so it hasn't really. It's got some soot marks, but his shirt and trousers, on the other hand, and his boots. Basically, he's largely left with a coat and. Yeah, his viol is weirdly fine. Lenark makes some damn fine work. But just about everything else, apart from coat and, his tools of his trade, and him himself, and his hair is a disaster.
Oh no.
So yeah, it's a whole lot of screaming, a whole lot of flailing, a whole lot of smoking. And he's got, he doesn't look like him right now. He just is, because he's that burned, especially the face.
I yell to Barnabas.
Well, no, to be fair, his face is largely spared, but there's some burn. I mean, basically, they seem to be enjoying the screams as long as possible, and you can't do that if your vocal cords have melted.
Fair enough. It's
mostly he's missing some significant patches of hair and burn across one side of his cheek, and this is a mess. This is.
Yeah, I yelled at Barnabas, "Get some water now!" And I start trying to use whatever spell slots I can to. With cure wounds or something. I mean, ease the pain, if anything.
Cure wounds away. It'll help.
Yeah, I'm gonna use maybe not good idea to use all of them, but I'm gonna use my.
Look, if you start healing some of the wounds, at the very least, he'll be in less pain.
I'm gonna use.
To be able to stop screaming for once.
Hold on.
Clarity's just gonna sort of ineffectually just sort of pat his head and try to go.
Yeah, because you can do that without hurting yourself is the thing. Barnabas, I'm going to say, for the sake of argument, that when Hazel was setting up the tent, she left out her infinite water jug. Mm-hmm. So
7 hit points.
Between that and being doused with a lot more water than you'd think a pitcher could hold, and when he writes it, it still fills full. So, yay, Mom and Mama. Darvin is starting to figure out where he is, and at least is hurting less enough to stop screaming.
I'm gonna use
Do I
another.
need to make like a wisdom check or something to be able to like snap out of it enough? Snap out of stuff
No,
for me
you
to, like,
you
Okay.
can figure it out.
just
It'll
figured out. Okay, just checking.
mostly because you want to focus on anything beyond.
I'm gonna focus on just coughing and going and mostly just coughing, just trying to figure out am I expelling smoke or am I expelling water? I can't tell anymore.
I'm gonna use
So,
another cure wounds level 1.
Okay.
lots and lots of coughing and hacking at this point.
Yeah, and he's after Ava's ministrations. He's looking better, but
Oh wait, I didn't notice there was a 2 thing of healing points. My mistake for the first one.
well, still that was over half his hit points, so we'll stick with that. So
We'll take it.
yeah.
Sorry.
And okay, so yeah, after coughing for quite some time, pause, head down, just kind of breathing a little and listening. And like, okay, I'm not hearing flames. I'm not hearing crackling. I'm not actively on fire. And then lift his head up and just sort of look.
Because you've been having your head patted as much as as much as could without touching burned bits.
You okay?
just- Okay, that gets a little confused. Like, are you shitting me?
Well, alright, are you alive?
I don't think I'd hurt this much.
There's just a moment when he says that where Barnabas is just like,
I must not be dead because you can't be anyone other than you, Ava. Clarity, please stop. That hurts. Not as much as you think, but ow. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Sorry.
Love you. It's okay. Ow.
Yeah.
Note to self, don't mouth off to that fucker. Just start stabbing everyone.
At which point, this just for clarity, he nearly bound himself to death. Can you please warn him not to say things like that to someone who will take them as a challenge? It took almost everything I had. We can't hear you.
Oh.
Oh, there we go.
Oh boy. Darwin.
Oh, wait. That look. Oh, sticks. I realize what I said. Yeah,
You Darwin again,
You did.
didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Once again, didn't you?
Yeah. I opened my mouth. I really should have just stuck with the lyrics. I wasn't going to play along, and that's fine, but I should have just not played along. Fuck.
This is when Darwin notices that they're missing a few people.
Yeah, because head back and like.
Because Hazel'd be.
Yeah, all over me. I'm like, that's when I'm like, blink, blink. Wait a minute. Oh, for fuck's sake. Looks at Ava, who's obviously been through something, Clarity, who hasn't, and Barnabas, who hasn't, going, oh, let me guess, you two weren't there for that. Oh, well, good. At least somebody didn't get, oh, boy. What is it with this guy in fire?
I wish I knew.
Trade him.
Yeah, and I gesture to. Do I have any singe?
Your boots are a little sooty, but most of it is the places where your archery gloves didn't quite cover the palms of your hands.
Oof.
I just sort of gestured to my boots.
Well, at least you didn't get as much as me, but then you probably didn't mouth off like I did.
To be fair, you also know what she's wearing.
Mm. Oh, right. I'm an idiot.
We still love you.
I'm gonna go lie down
I think that's a good idea.
and just
Yeah.
hurt for a while. Fuck me running. That's the last thing he said before he stepped into the tent. Just goes to lie down. And just,
Can he walk at this point?
He can hobble.
yeah, barely.
I'll try and help him.
Well, no, touching him hurts.
Yeah.
Let him.
Bad idea. Bad idea. Bad idea. Bad idea. Bad idea.
Sorry.
Actually, you know what? Never mind. I'm just gonna very carefully sit right here. I don't think I need to be touching anything right now. I'm just gonna sit here and whimper.
Let me know if you need more healing.
I'll wait. I'm assuming the others will be along. And if they're not, well, fuck me, I guess.
Well, we came back, so I guess that's fine.
Clarity is not going to mention about, there's a chance one or two of them might not.
She's seen what she went through and what he's
Yeah.
thinking it's not going to be like.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, I'm trying to figure out whether Clarity's going to fill people in or if she's just gonna...
She's being cautiously optimistic.
And Barnabas?
She thinks it out loud. It's not.
Yeah.
If I understood her mysterious patron correctly, there's a chance someone might not make it back.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
You're intelligent enough to remember that what Her Majesty said was that 2 of the entertainment, the terms of their challenge involved a death.
She said that 2 of the entertainments involved a death or something along those lines.
What we had then? I mean, a burning pilling is hardly what I'd call.
Barnabas is intelligent, and maybe now is the time to mention that the reason they're surviving is that Her Majesty is pulling them out and is only able to do so because their challenge has not, verbally or in any other way, involved a death. Up until Darvin opened his fucking mouth!
Apparently, her patron is pulling people out, trying to keep them from involving a death, but still somehow a death is apparently involved in... I hate this.
Trust me, so do I.
Oh god, this must be awful for lawful good.
One of the most frequent sounds since all of this started is the sound of basically Barnabas' hands and like the gloves and everything he wears with the armor, just death gripping on his weapons. That sort of creak.
That and probably grinding molars.
Mm-hmm.
And, bullhead, a lot of molars.
Mm-hmm.
It just did occur to me, this is fey bargains and fey loopholes and twisting everything, and here you have lawful good. This is great. Sorry. No, I'm not.
So, Clarity, thank Her Majesty, please. Or, can I just say it out? You know what?
She's watching.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm an idiot.
She doesn't say anything, but from whatever pocket Clarity put puppy in, there's beep. Tiny dragon head.
Enough for
Yeah.
to hear. Oh.
What's that?
Blink, 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 blink.
God.
What?
Holds up a gold coin.
And a coin. The dragon comes with the coin. I don't know what to do.
Well, it's you. I assume keeping.
I know, but there was a thing about spending. It's not. We'll deal with it a little bit. There's burning happening. It's okay.
Okay.
I'm not actively burning now. It just, like I said, don't mouth off to that fucker.
The spectral kittens come back for a return engagement for a second.
Burnt and soggy, and now subjected to kittens.
They're not touching. They're just spectral, multicolored kittens. Glump, 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 glump.
Y'all are seeing this, right? That's hilarious.
No, they're there.
Been happening sometimes.
They get the coin, and she's trying to cheer us up.
I'm gonna shake my bag and pull up.
Thank you.
Butterscotch has a slightly scorched ear and is looking very bewildered.
I'm sorry.
Sorry if I made things difficult. I probably did. Anyway, I'm gonna.
It starts to snow. Just for a minute, just on top of Darvin. The cooling helps a bit.
Actually, the only reason he's like, oh. Oh.
Okay, now we're going by how much time things are going to take, probably. Because a few of these are a little bit convoluted. So let's go with simple, leaving alphabetical order very briefly. Hazel.
Oh boy.
Once again, you find the ground under your feet smoother than you initially remembered it. And when the lights come up, they don't come up very far. The floor under your feet is hardwood, well polished, well treated. The room is small and round, and also largely wood. There is a small bed. There is a small window, just big enough for you to probably squeeze through. You recognize this room. You spent the first 5 years of your life in it. There is only one difference. There is no door. Instead of a door, there is a tapestry that reads in Elven, very prettily done calligraphy Elven. Perhaps a leap of faith. How much does your god love you?
Two things.
Okay.
One, axe.
Okay. What about it?
Axe, I am going to take a swing at the tapestry, and then I'm going to turn and put it through the window.
Well, the window doesn't have any glass in it, so, but let's deal with the tapestry. Oh god, now we roll the hand of fate. Oh god. The head of the axe shatters. The blade with which
There
you
is-
hit.
So much enraged swearing.
I mean, you could maybe pick up the pieces and see if they could be mended somehow.
Yeah, I'm picking up the bits, and once I've got it all back in the bag,
Well, you do have mending, don't you?
yeah. Well, I'm going to do that. I try to apply mending first.
Okay, roll the hand of fate again. The hand of fate is with you. It takes I'm going to say that costs you a second level spell slot instead of the usual cantrip thing, because you're mending a magical weapon. But
Probably feels like I'm cooking from a little too much solar power.
But you actually, it's weird. It's like that feeling of having a fever where you're at once baking hot and at once freezing, because you're mending ice magic. But you manage to get it back in one piece. Excuse me.
The window available.
The window is available.
I'm going to veer into halfling and just litany of the worst things I've ever overheard Mom and Mama say about somebody, and just yeeting myself out.
Okay, oh god, there are tree branches. Make me a dex save.
Like, he wants to play? Fine, I'm playing.
Okay, this is gonna be a thing. This is going to be so much of a thing. Quick look at what's going on with this here. 18, 34, 38, 39. You hit practically every fucking branch on the way down. Which on one level is good because it means that the fall does not immediately kill you. But it does mean that you take 46 points of falling damage before you land with a crunch in rock. You guys are watching it snow on Darwin when actually the three of you, because Darwin's not noticing shit right now, the three of you make me a perception check. Yeah, none of you quite exactly see how it happens. You don't know how Hazel suddenly fell out of the ceiling, but Barnabas and Clarity do see the falling of bright green, and Ava's too busy watching Darwin until the sound of crunch, and probably Halfling swearing until she hits the ground. Crunch.
Hazel! Running over.
Oh, good. Wait, that was allowed.
As soon as there's a crunch, the echo is right there, and then suddenly Barnabas is right there. He's on edge.
Yeah, so all of a sudden, yeah, there's a big... Yeah, Hazel, it barely has time for her vision to clear when Smokey, Minotaur, and then Barnabas gets there well ahead of Clarity, because Clarity has to run. He doesn't have to run, it's just there's an echo over there, and then poot!
Then yeah, he swapped places with the echo, and the echo's back over there, now he's here.
And then he can let the echo go. So yeah, so it's basically echo. First she sees, I'm seeing things, and then poot! Barnabas! Ah! Ow!
I'm going to very carefully sit up. The swearing has started again and hasn't actually really, aside from the wind knocked out of me, hasn't actually stopped.
Yeah, but mostly what Darwin is hearing, and he thought it was his imagination at first because he wasn't registering the slightly scorched now, but still functional, Helm of Comprehend Languages. Now he's starting to register it as surprisingly filthy halfling profanity, with idioms he vaguely recognizes as probably deriving from mercenary companies.
Well, she's,
but
Hazel's
wheezing.
still
But wheezing.
yeah. Hazel's still herself, I hear.
But yeah, sitting up.
Yeah.
Sitting up. Sitting up does not happen. Your body does not want to move right now. You try, but you kind of fail. You're gonna need a minute. Besides, there's also Minotaur.
Barnabas crouches down. Like, do you want a minute, or I can carry you over to everyone else?
Take your pick.
Barnabas, you're intelligent. She's bent funny because this is not good for her back, which is what she landed on. Yeah.
He picks her up and brings her back over. Not teleporting. Because that'd be a little more of a jar, I think.
Yeah. Hazel is covered in bruises. There's a few broken bones. I mean, she looks like... But she looks like she was beaten with very large sticks, which technically is what happens when you yeet yourself out of a very, very high tree and bounce off every major limb on the way down. But yeah, what it looks like is hit by several very large logs and then fell a very great distance.
But I know if cure wounds would help with any of it.
Well, I mean, it might be wise to let Hazel handle it, because she's got more of it than you do. Yeah, when she's got her wind back and is not still swearing in Halfling. So, I mean, anyway, there's Barnabas, and Barnabas' arms are a lot more comfy than where you were. But still, ow. At least he knows how to carry you so that the various broken bits aren't grinding against each other and things.
Once I'm set down, I'm going to pause swearing long enough to go, Clarity, I'm gonna want a little bit of help working the healer's kit, because several of my limbs are not 100% solid.
Clarity's fumbling out of her pouch, and she's got a greater healing potion.
Yeah, you and Barnabas are intelligent. What she's saying is, Barnabas probably gets it more because he's done field medicine. Is gonna what she was asking for, and actually what Barnabas would probably be better at doing, is push the limbs back in place so they set properly. That requires strength.
But she's also wants help and is panicking.
Yeah.
Girlfriend.
Yes, but somebody is going to have to explain to her that this is going to involve crunch.
This is gonna look painful, but it's necessary. Just relax, and he does the setting work that needs. I'm not going to make anybody roll for this. I've been mean enough to you because Barnabas has done this a few times before. But, and it's not going to do any more damage hit points wise, but the swearing has increased.
And probably gotten sir.
Because I'm
paying attention to any vibration.
Yeah, okay, because Ava's the one who's actually paying attention to what's going, since Ava's the one actually paying attention to what's going around on outside, make me a perception check. While Hazel is screaming and having, 5 different limb bones reset. Surprisingly, nothing seems to be coming for you. Although it probably does occur that while Milady Whimsy can't do much, she can at least make sure you're not going to be jumped by things while people are coming back like this. So anyway, yes, a couple of bad minutes later, Hazel's limbs are straight, if still broken, and she can do healing at that point.
Okay. And a 1, and a 2, and a 1, 2, 3, 4. Cure wounds, 4th level.
Okay. And there were bonuses
Cycle
with... Yeah.
Level, so another 6 on top of that.
Yeah. I mean, you still hurt, but your bones are set. And that's when you look up and you notice Darwin. Many, many burns, but snow on his shoulders. The cloud has dissipated by now. But he's sort of sitting in a little pile of snow.
It looks like he should be colder, but he's feeling actually very comfortable in it because at least it lessens the bit of the ow.
Yeah, I mean, he's got some of his hair has been burned off. While his coat is still intact, it's almost the only item of clothing that is.
Yeah, he's going to have to do some significant mending of his own. When he has the wherewithal.
To be fair, there's only so much mending can do.
Well, I figure mostly I'm.
The boots you can probably get away with because they're leather, but everything else apart from the coat, that's gonna have to be binned. Anyway.
Yeah.
So yes, Hazel is now noticing Darwin covered in burns. Ava's still looking pretty freaked out. These two look okay, and 3 people are missing.
Going to waffle over to Darwin now that I can actually stand without my bones giving out. Kindly stop being toasty. And I'm going to just very carefully put a hand on somewhere that's not burned.
Not burned too badly, anyway.
And I'm going to cast Cure Wounds at 3rd level.
Okay.
Just to piece him back together a bit more.
Ooh.
And another 5 on top of that, so a grand total of 7 plus 10.
26.
Yep.
That actually puts me at full.
Yeah. I mean, you're still gonna hurt for a while, but it's, it's more of your body remembers the pain more than anything else. And
So for the first time since he's been back, Darwin actually breathes deep and actually seems to finally unclench a bit. And
there's some interesting scarring, probably, but not a lot left.
yeah, the bit where his Bahamut sleeve was the spot that she touched because of his skin. That's the only spot that hasn't burned. The shirt on top of it is scorched to hell. The coat's still fine, but that's the only bit that isn't even a little bit red.
thank you.
So is Hazel going to ask anything?
I have a guess. Considering the last time Fae nonsense happened, I wound up in the same kind of room, just not with the same options thrown at me.
Darwin just points at Clarity. Talk to Clarity. I'm going
to
get
go over to Clarity and hug her.
Oh, good. I can hold you again.
Aww.
and kiss the bejesus out of her.
It was His Majesty, and Her
I
Majesty
figured.
has been helping. But he seems to think that you still owe him things because you wanted to help Nye.
I'm going to, oh. Pardon me a second, Clarity. Your Majesty? Your Majesty? I mean this in the best way I can, but I kind of want to throttle your husband right now.
Rainbow-colored spectral flitties start flying formation around Hazel's head. Which pretty much means, yeah, I get you.
Thank you for being understanding. And then I'm going to go back to hugging and continue just macking on Clarity as long as I'm allowed.
Okay. That's probably a good point to have a break, because I have a feeling that Barnabas, Ava, and Darwin, while the initial is, oh, that's cute, it's like, oh, are they ever going, do they need to breathe?
I'm gonna come walking out seeing this. That tracks.
Clarity's just
Just
turning
sort of-
colors.
I'm gonna poke out of the tent and sort of wait for anyone else to reappear.
Yeah, well, I figure this part is still happening outside of the tent, because Darwin was getting changed in it. So if y'all want to hide in the tent while these two are having massive snogging session, that's on you. So we'll take our break now, and when we come back in about 5 minutes, we'll deal with the rest of you. And we're back with most of the party in various stages of shook up, injured, and just plain pissed at everything. And 3 remaining. So, Froseth. I mean, you're closer to the Earth than just about anybody else. So, when you have the change under your feet, you notice it more than most. It doesn't change much, but the stone feels different. It's not, it's not rocky scree that's been dug. It's more partially smooth stone, and there's a coolness in the air that for you has always said water, because water's the first element to which you ever attuned, but there's more to the water than just it being water. It's moving in a way that suggests things. When the lights come back up, you are standing on a rock that's hovering above a wide space. And about 20 feet below you is water. And it's churning. And there's the occasional tentacle. Give him a chance to react before I continue on.
Not really sure how to react to this.
So that's first. Let's just going, okay, what the?
Yeah. Just taking everything in and analyzing, just kind of like, what the hell?
Yeah, because, mostly you're just seeing way out there, far beyond even you to jump, is fog gray wall. As you're pondering that, above you and a little ways out to sort of the southeast, but up, another rock, smaller. And I don't think you've heard His Majesty, but it's that voice of power and chaos and anger and cruel amusement. That rock upon which you stand will vanish in 20 seconds. You will have further stepstones, and then you will have a pause, and then we will have questions. Pass through 3, and you are freed. Fail at the jumps or the questions, and you go below, and the tentacles writhe more. 20, 19, 18, 17, and it keeps counting down.
That rock is how high up?
About 5 feet.
Let's I guess gonna try jumping over there, using a key point for Step of the Wind to like double
Okay.
distance jumped.
Okay. I'm not entirely sure what jumping distance is. I've never actually calculated it.
I can't remember the
Well,
rules
give
for it.
me basically at this point, give me an acrobatics check.
14.
Given your Step of the Wind, it's enough. And as soon as you hit that one, without too much power, you wobble a bit because this one's tiny. This one's only a few feet. It does vanish, and going up like steps, you're there, and then there's there, and there, and there, going up. Some are further than others.
Okay.
I'm going to ask for 3 acrobatics checks.
Okay.
Yeah, no problem with, even that one, although you have to pause for a minute because that one's really narrow and it was far away. Okay, 2. Even more wobbly coming up to these ones. But you're managing.
12.
I mean, you're struggling by the end of that one. Make me a dex save.
Can I? Well, I should have mentioned having this out before doing that. So yeah, dex.
Well, what? We'll deal with it after, but because I'll give you a second. Yeah, you wobble, but it's like your tail instinctively wraps around the rock and manages to balance you properly. At which point, that forms, and that's a fairly simple hop compared to everything else you've managed to do. So, what did you want to say you did? You have a minute of pause.
For any future jumps now, I'm gonna have that immobile rod. So if I start wobbling again, I can have like a handhold to help keep balance.
Okay, we're gonna have to hand of fate that if it comes up again.
Yeah.
But because remember, this is Archfey territory now, and you know that much.
Yep.
Okay, so if you don't remember this, there's a couple of places where either you might not remember it or it just didn't get brought up. You can ask for an intelligence check. This one has been designed to focus on both your strengths and your weaknesses, you may have noticed.
Yeah.
You were given a human name that didn't mean very much at the end of the day. You were given a name at your hatching that had more meaning. What was the meaning?
I'm gonna need an intelligence check for that one.
Yeah, your modified your target's not that high for this one because this one was told to you relatively recently. So, breathe.
Five.
Yeah, okay, this isn't anywhere near as complicated as I thought it was going to be. That's the thing. Faraday told you so many things.
Yeah.
Because she's a talker, and you're trying to pick through all the... Because, I mean, you were all about clearing your mind at the monastery, not picking up information. So it takes you longer than it does most people to fish information out. It takes too long. The rock underneath you vanishes. If you do try the immovable rod, it does not work. You do land in the water, and you do feel tentacles wrap around you. But before you start running out of air, that changes to a tangle of bed sheets. And I mean, you're soaking them now, but yeah. Any of the rest of you who are in the tent, which means everybody but the two kissing individuals over here, just start hearing rustle, squelch from the bed that Froseth usually occupies, as there's this sheet and bedding covered lump trying to detangle itself. Probably wheezing a bit because you were under for a while.
Yeah, so like thrash a little while, once realizing not in the water anymore, just calm down, spit out the water.
As much as you can, because you've still got over your face, so it's like and more water soaks the bedclothes. And with calm comes the ability to kind of unroll, although give me another dex save. You managed to do that without falling off the bed. And you guys see the bedding unwind, and boink, out comes Froseth's head. Just you.
Hey.
Okay.
and just as you're waving is when you remember Froseth was the great silver dragon who was tasked to guard his people, his Inferides people, and when he came to the hour of his death, asked for Bahamut to let him keep doing it. And so there's a constellation that is called the Great Dragon by a lot of humanoids, but for Froseth's people and most Dragonborn people, it's literally known as Froseth. So yeah, you see it to do that.
You hurt?
Nope.
Oh, well, that means one of us. Good. Saves Hazel some trouble.
He does look really pissed off with himself though.
You alright?
Yeah. I need to work on remembering things better.
Ava's like, okay. Not sure what that means, but.
I think we've all found out things that we need to work on.
Mm-hmm. So I guess that just leaves Allison.
Yeah.
Are any of you going to explain anything to Froseth at all? I mean, you two haven't even noticed. I mean, Froseth with his passive perception does notice Clarity, Hazel, Remy, and Alice are missing.
Yeah, Remy and Clarity are, Hazel and Clarity are outside, don't worry. Hazel came back a little bit bruised, but she's alright.
Broken, I think, is the correct word.
And the look on Barnabas's face when she said
I was trying not to make too big of... Never mind.
Yeah, Barnabas is clutching his weapon so hard you can hear the metal of his greaves and the wood of the axe handle and the hilt of his sword just creak.
Oh, yeah.
You have never seen the Minotaur that angry in your entire life. It hasn't been long, but still.
Sounds like I got off, or looks like, Darvin's well burned and whatnot. I got off comparatively light to everyone else.
Uh-huh.
Might be, yeah.
Remy and Alice have yet to return, and I'm concerned because apparently His Majesty is putting us through trials, apparently. I don't know. I was too busy burning to really catch most of the detail.
We'd owe him because of Aaron, I think. And basically, apparently, some of our trials involve death. So, given what some of the conditions we've come back in, ours were fairly close to that. So, we have no idea what to expect.
I mean,
Well, you nearly burned to death by the looks of it. I think that's pretty close to death.
no. I think I still had a fair bit more screaming to do before I would have actually died, but yeah. That was not fun, but yeah. Yeah, never mouth off to that motherfucker. Yeah, you know me, Froseth. I don't half-ass anything. Of course, I used my whole ass. I paid for it, as you can see. I love that shirt.
Yeah, at the moment it's mostly some red patches on the skin and the hair. which you've taken off the helm of comprehend languages. Although you do remember, if Alice is willing to share, she still has some of her potion left that fixes one's hair.
Yeah, I did think of that as a player, and Darwin did think of that in character. But at the same time, he's like, let's just get her back first. So it's like I'm not even bothered to bring that up because she ain't here. Let's just get her back. So it looks like all we can do is wait at this point.
Yep.
And peel up whatever comes back. But
Look on Ava's face.
I have a new name to add to my list. I'm going to say.
Is anybody going to tell those two that Froseth came back?
I don't know if.
I think Hazel needs a minute, so I mean, she'll naturally, I guess.
Oh, right. Hang on. Pokes my head out.
Still smooching.
Froseth's back.
Do we even need air anymore?
Yeah, you do, however, hear Froseth's back.
Done.
Clarity's slightly purple.
It might be breathing time now.
Yeah, just going to pause just to look over. How squished?
We can't hear you.
I literally just went, oi, Froseth's back, and then back in the tent. So if you're looking after I said that, just enough time to see the just like, whatever. Look at my face as get in the tent. So if you want to
I've declared how squished.
You can hear her. And we still can't hear you.
Fine.
His bed is soaked.
Very unsquished, actually.
Does Froseth have anything to add about this?
Yeah. He's probably looking a little bit like. So he was gonna.
Yeah, give him a minute. Let him have a reaction.
Well, you're thinking about.
Shut up! Let him have a reaction, and then you can go.
Let's see.
First, that's much more fun when he goes off the cuff. Just what is he feeling right now? And go with that.
Sorry, it's just mine going all over the place and nowhere at all.
Yeah, that's it's just Froseth doesn't really get it. We notice what he's feeling, so we kind of need to know.
Yeah, it's like his trial there. Seeing like aside from the tentacles, with him just disappearing before anything much happened, seemed like pretty tame. So like he's not worried, but then mention of death, it's like like do here.
He's got I need to do something face.
Yes. There's like I'm sure you guys have thought of it. There's nothing we can do, right? Like it's
Just can't. Just have to sit and wait.
Give me a wisdom check, Froseth, because you're the only one who's actually thought to.
Can it be insight?
I guess. Just about. I'll give you this one.
14. Dragonborn plan engine broken.
Surely they'd have thought that, maybe they can't stop this, but maybe if they can... Obviously they thought about trying to talk to His Majesty and make sure this is the last fucking time. He would be the one to think of that. But he's like, surely somebody considered this.
Except by this point, he knows better.
Yeah.
Have we checked to make sure this is the last time this bullshit's gonna happen?
I was actually I was gonna ask, but I was sort of waiting for everybody to get back first.
I mean, we can't do anything else in the meantime.
Okay. Well,
I mean, it's worth a try.
yeah, I don't know how we contact him, but we could ask her, I guess.
I'm sure they're both listening to us at the moment.
Wouldn't surprise me. Well, for a fact, she is.
And also, because, Proseth insight, and he knows Darvin very, very well. If Darvin says one fucking word, you guys are doomed to this bullshit for the rest of eternity.
Good point.
He hasn't said that yet, but
That was me, not Ayla.
yeah, well, when I say a thing, let the person I've directed it to say the thing, or else it hasn't been said.
Okay. He's just gonna look up. So, what kind of deal is this here? Is this our last time to fulfill whatever thing, or what?
And it's only Furseth that hears this. He offered his service to us in perpetuity, and not only did you let him go, you encouraged it. You owe me.
Okay. So we owe you, but we never made a deal directly with you. What can we do so we're not dealing with this forever?
Think about it, make me an offer, and I'll consider it. It'd better be good, because you have been wonderfully entertaining so far. Your little sister would be terribly disappointed in what you forgot. And no, Ava did not hear that, so shut up.
I know.
And there's the sense that while listening, he's not interested in talking to you anymore until you come up with something to offer.
So, pause for a moment. Okay. After a pause, the comment about his sister, it's
you do see the fist just yeah.
Okay. So, if we don't want to deal with this forever, we need to come up with a deal and make it good.
Of course we do.
Well, I'll let you guys think about that for a minute. Remy. The floor under her feet doesn't change very much. When the lights come back on, though, she recognizes this kind of setup. It's small. Jay's standing right about there in what appears to be a rather small arena. Seated in the benches, all around, fey creatures of various types. Most of them are kind of humanoid. They all look really weird. there's the general sense that that whole setup here in the first border has something of a barrier. You're basically stuck where you are. You're still holding your rock. If you wanted to test that theory. Just saying.
Oh my god.
And
Is there a VIP box?
Well, yeah, seated at the throne, as you're saying that, is His Majesty, who I think you've seen, going, how flattering. There's a crystal kind of box thing, and inside what appears to be a rather familiar humanoid blonde, basically smacking at the inside of it. You hear nothing, and she looks incredibly fucking frustrated. When she sees who's turned up, there's yet more hitting, and then she pauses long enough to make that particular gesture. Which point, the Archfey waves a hand, and the entire thing turns a, non-transparent green. How flattering. I thought you already had 2 gods. What need have you for me?
What do you want?
Well, entertainment. Usually, that's what we're going for here. It shouldn't be quite as onerous as it was the last time. Of course, there are certain conditions involved, obviously, because that is how we do things here, but we've got a bit of a problematic being that requires some dispatching. And you kill that, and you get to see your friends and your lover again. And yes, you get to go home. Doesn't that sound nice?
I kill it, and you bring me and Alice and the rest of my group exactly where we were before.
Of course. I mean, if you say no, then you sit here.
Remy summons her sword.
Okay, so let's drop Remy where she is. And since I don't have a flesh golem to hand, so I'll borrow our old friend the Hungry. But what you have is mid-height humanoid, probably male, or at least bits of it are, because in its minimal clothing, you see stitch marks at various joints. Its face is largely without expression, and it carries a pair of hand axes. The surrounding fey critters start stomping their feet on the floor in a manner that Remy recognizes from trial bouts. And then it stops, and His Majesty says, "Begin." And I would like you to roll initiative. Oh, fuck's sake. Oh, for fuck's sake! Yes, I did!
Wait, question, does the...
No, you're gonna shut up now, because you're not there. You're not there. You have no...
No, but
The vow.
I'm asking if
the initiative buff.
the 8 hours, was this within the 8 hours?
But he'd already rolled when you flagged it up.
I did remember that I figured it had been past 8 hours, and she
It
rolled a 3, so.
it wasn't, but You should have flagged it up before she rolled, before the roll happened. Sorry.
Yeah, it's fine.
Besides, it wouldn't have been a nat 20 anyway.
Exactly.
Okay, creature comes up to you. It's not the most graceful thing in the world, but clang across your shield. Second attack, clang across your shield. Remy.
Okay. Remy casts Vow of Enmity. And then she starts swinging.
Okay. Roll damage.
Did not even put advantage on for that one.
Well, don't need to, but second attack. That just about misses. It manages to nudge your arm aside. Bonus action?
That was the vow.
Oh, right, yes. Okay,
Yeah, that's
so...
it.
Two more attacks. One comes off the shield. The other one hits the edge of your shoulder plate. Not doing any significant damage. Remy.
Okay. She will... see. Yeah, she'll attack with a Wrathful Smite and a Divine Smite at level 2.
Can you do 2 smites at once?
Divine Smite
Well,
Is
Wrathful
it-
Smite is the spell.
an
The,
action.
Yeah, okay. That's psychic damage. Okay, so yeah, roll damage. Oh, wait, spell save DC. No, God, no. Okay, yeah.
Divine Smite.
So, hang on, let me start doing some maths here. Okay. I usually have more paper than this. This will do. So, hang on, that's 81 minus 10, 18, 26. Okay. Second attack. Roll damage. Okay. And you've had your bonus action.
Yes.
Okay. Again, off the shield, a solid part of the chest plate, so a little bit of oof, but no actual damage. This thing apparently is rather clumsy, but given it seems to be stitched of people, that's not overly surprising. Remy!
Remy glances very quickly to Alisa.
Well, she can't see him. That's
Oh, okay.
turn the thing opaque is the term, I believe.
Okay. And she'll take another swing with another level 2 Divine Smite.
Okay. Go forth. Roll damage. So that's... Yeah, this thing is hurting. Second attack. Roll damage. Yeah, this thing is hurting badly. Bonus action?
Nope.
Okay. And again, mostly wham on the shield. Wham on the shield. Remy.
Okay, just take another swing.
Roll damage. Okay. Second attack. Roll damage. This creature lands unconscious and bleeding out at your feet. Because remember, normally I just kind of let it bleed out, but this thing isn't. The Archfey gentleman is not having that. It basically, when the thing is down, it's just finish it.
Let me see, Alisei.
Well, given how long this is taking, yeah, as you're asking that, because it does not take very long at all for somebody to fail 3 death saving throws when the last gasp of this creature finishes, the illusion drops. And lying at Remy's feet, in a puddle of her own blood, is Alisei. Remember what you still have? I'd suggest doing it quickly because your thing was see her again and be sent exactly back. And you don't have a lot of time.
So you said she's
She's
gone?
she in that finish it, let me see Alisei, that was your round. She bled out.
Okay. Remy manages not to scream. She very hurriedly fumbles to dismiss her sword and grab her diamond, and then grab Alisei.
What?
Looks
Yep.
upwards. Zuriel, let her have my strength. She casts Revivify.
Okay. Before you know whether it worked or not, it goes black again. And you were not in the same place. He said he was going to send you back exactly where you were. So you turn up over by this scree pile, and over where the tent is, sort of out there someplace, a little bit far away to be able to see much of anything, is an, at the very least, unconscious Alisei, soaked in blood.
Remy screams for Alisei
Well,
I hear that and I run
a
out.
lot.
okay, given this has been a bit of a stressful situation, Ava, you trip over Alisei's prone body, and whoop, thump.
Guys, get out here now!
Okay, Ava. Given the immediate, give me a perception check. Yeah, because once you've tripped over her.
I'm not even thinking. I'm not.
Yeah.
I see blood. I like you.
Yeah, it's. I mean, you're sort of going. Cure wounds. Is it too late? Not quite. She's barely breathing, and that roll for the Revivify was at the very, very edge. This is Ziriel going, you fucking seriously?
Remy runs towards somebody else. The sound of somebody else shouting.
Yeah, well, you saw Ava come out the tent, sort of trip over Alisaie's body, and then immediately sort of down, oh shit, kind of thing. And you don't even know if she's alive. Mostly at this point, because Ava's in the way.
Remy pushes Ava out of the way.
Yeah, she manages to get the cure wounds, and then she's... Make me a contested strength check, guys.
Oh, this is gonna go well.
Yeah.
We'll leave it, because this is, come on, this is...
Funny.
Yeah, Ava goes kind of sprawling, and Remy hits her knees on the ground next to Alisaie, and she kind of opens her eyes like, oh, fuck.
Remy puts in 25 points of lay on hands.
You know, I thought you were gonna twig onto something when I didn't hit you even once!
Sorry.
Wait. You? What? What happened?
Had me under an illusion.
In a word, Archfey.
I'm gonna kill that guy.
In line.
I knew what was gonna happen. That's why it was to... If I gave any indication I knew what was about to happen, if I twigged you in any way, he was gonna kill you. That's why I just wanted you to know I wasn't gonna hold it against you. But it's why I kept missing.
Remy gives her another look over to make sure she's not actively bleeding.
No, she's been healed up fairly well. It's just, you know, she's been brought back again, and that's the thing. Ava doesn't know. But then, okay, actually, the rest of you, I think, yeah, all of you do know. So give me a straight up wisdom check, guys. Apart from Remy, you already know.
19.
Yeah, Clarity doesn't even want to think it.
22.
Fine.
Ava doesn't even really want to think it.
Nope. I'm too frazzled.
Barnabas is kind of close, but he's got everybody back, but now he's just so fucking... I mean, it's enough to know that this individual set Remy against... Because he's never known Remy to have a this.
But that was a wisdom save from Barnabas, not a wisdom check.
Oh, okay, sorry. Barnabas, hello? That was a save, not a check. It's okay. This is a stressful thing. Wisdom check, yep. Okay, no, it's Clarity and Ava who just don't want to think it. This was what they meant by the death. They made Remy kill her. And judging by the expression on Remy's face and some of the shit Alisaie is saying, they made damn sure Remy knew. That means Alisaie actually died. And, okay, yeah, she really isn't a paladin. Paladins can't bring people back from the dead, but yeah, Clarity and Ava just... I mean, Ava in particular, just nope.
Yeah, especially because it's Alisaie.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Not going there.
Remy
I just put a
gets
hand
up
on
and
Remy's shoulder.
Remy gets up and stomps off to the edge of the perimeter of the little camp.
I help Alisaie up.
Okay, I'm gonna go and be with her for a second, because shit happened, and I really need to reassure her, like, a lot. But before... No, I'm not bleeding out anymore. It's okay. Are you guys okay? Just briefly, I'll get the whole story in a minute. But
we're all back, mostly okay. A few injuries. But
go take care of you. Go take care of Rebby.
You were right the first time. Walks over to where Remy is. It's a hand on her shoulder.
You need to get some rest.
Hazel said I need to take care of me. This is part of that. You didn't know. I had apologized to Ziriel at some point in your prayers tonight or something, I don't know, but like I say, I knew. I knew I was gonna have to let you.
I thought he would do something to you, but not that.
I get the impression from looking at the others that he's messed with all of us in the worst way possible. It would have been bad enough to watch you fight something without being able to help, but it was even worse knowing how you'd feel after this. I don't think he knew what you were capable of.
And now he does.
Yeah, but that means that he's probably not going to pull that bullshit again. Where's the fun in making you kill me if you can bring me back after? Sorry. Look. Hell with this and kiss.
Remy very gently holds her.
Hey, none of that, you. I'm not that breakable. It took you a while, okay?
No.
And that's partially because you didn't see it, but it was under the illusion. Silenced me, cut off my magic. I couldn't patch up. I couldn't do anything except not hit you. I know you feel the same way, but you need to understand, and I guess now you do. I would rather, if our situations were reversed, it wouldn't be the same because I can't bring you back. And there's no guarantee we get to Hazel in time.
I know.
It was our way out. Yeah, it hurt. Only physically. Don't beat yourself up over this. But if something's not even making a dent, if something seems to be aiming for your shield, take a closer look. Take away a lesson from this and move on. 'Cause I'm not even gonna... It's not a thing. Okay?
I'll try.
Do apologize to Ziriel, though. I tend not to remember this kind of thing, which is awful that I can say that this is a multiple time thing. But I'm not the only one in this group, so hey. But I get the impression that he's probably a little more pissed than I am. In that he's a little pissed. Because I'm not pissed. I didn't I didn't have a moment with your sword in my heart. That means you paused before a killing blow. It's not your fault that he made you wait until the wounds finished me. You paused, you thought. That's... Given the situation you were in, that's a damn miracle. I'm just glad he didn't think to show that illusion of me he had up. It was echoing what I was doing, but it wasn't me.
Just glad you're okay.
I just need you to be.
I'm okay enough.
No, we need to not have the enough. We're okay. This is not you. This is that jackass.
Mm-hmm. I know. It's just...
No, you repeat after me. This is that jackass.
This is that jackass.
If you go flinching away from me because of what just happened, he wins. I'm not going to let that jackass win, and I'm not letting him take anything else from me.
Remy, closer again.
There you go. Just try to keep that in mind. Don't let him win.
I won't.
No, I'm not going back and relaxing unless you're with me, okay?
Okay, let's go.
Arm over Remy's shoulder and nudges her back toward the tent. Okay, so... That was a thing that happened.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think it might be a full disclosure time because I refuse to be ashamed of what jackass let happen. Sorry, Ree, but if we want to know what happened to everybody, we need to say what happened. They had me under an illusion, and they bound my magic, and they put an illusion of me to fake Ree out, and then they stuck me under this illusion in an arena with her and said it was a fight to the death. I had been told ahead of time that if I twigged her in any way, he'd just kill her out of hand. So I aimed for the shield, I aimed for the hard parts of her armor, and I knew that thanks to Celestial Dad, she could bring me back if she had to. And she's not going to let him win by making her flinch from me. I don't hold this against her. She shouldn't hold it against her either. I'm the one that... To her credit, it wasn't a killing blow at the end of the day. She asked to see me first. Unfortunately, the time that took kind of... She hits like a fucking mule, okay? Jeez.
She hits like someone dropping a entire Belarusian battleship.
She hits like a dire moose.
Apt comparison.
I'm telling your mother that, you know, if it's not, you know, she shouldn't be afraid for you. She should be afraid of it for everything you come across. Damn, woman! So why does Darwin look...
Hey, Darwin again.
I refused to play along, mouthed off, and nearly burned to death.
Yeah, see, I would have done that if it had just been me, but... Oh... Oriole's tits. That probably means next time they're going to hold somebody else hostage for your good behavior.
bards.
Hey!
It had nothing to do with me being a bard.
I mean,
It had
in the
everything to do
best
with me
way
being me.
possible, you two. You guys are seriously the most selfless crazies I've met.
In my case, it's at least partially to do with the points to our shoulders where the wings would be. He took away my wings, the jackass.
I really hate that guy.
What about you? I mean, okay, I kind of expect you to look freaked out, because I vaguely remember you doing the Cure Wounds thing before you went kind of flying.
I was in my room.
Oh.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was that night. And I had this rope going up into darkness for some reason.
Basically, and you don't like high places or fire.
No.
Oh, they were using the absolute worst bullshit they could find against us, weren't they?
Looks like it.
Yes.
I think the only reason I got out of that was, gesture to clarity.
Not me. I take no credit. It was my patron.
I'm going to just move back over to Clarity and just kind of lean on her a little. And let her lean on me.
And I am guessing we didn't get the same treatment because... bullshit?
Yeah. Apparently some of us had conditions that involved death.
Ah, that's why, because he'd actually arranged it as a fight to the death. Somebody had to die, and given that it was the two of us, somebody had to die, and somebody did. Hooray. Hazel, you alright?
I'm okay. They, tried a repeat of the last time they kept us on hold from attorney.
To be fair, you weren't in your bedroom during the tourney, because that was your old kid's room. You were in the fancy place. You're thinking of when you went to, when you went to try and get Lady Emma Vela's help.
Yeah, I'm like recalling I'm also recalling like the last time the Fey nonsense happened when they left us in personalized room spaces.
That's different. That's different. There's a difference between Fey and Archfey. Because yours was elves. Yours was just elves, not elven wild, not Fey wild.
Yeah, no, I remember that part. I'm talking about like when we were set up for the tourney, one of the things that I recall happening was the illusionary room we were waiting in.
Yeah, but that was not anything like your room. You're conflating the two instances. It was you.
Okay, I'm getting the wires crossed.
It was you, Darvin, and Alice in this plush green reception room.
Got it. Thank you for the clarification.
Yeah, and that's Alice sort of going, wait, what?
Okay, scratch that. Wrong recollection. I'm pretty sure I'm getting something crossed here, but they tried to retread the last time I got stuffed in a room. And gave me the option of getting out only one way, out a window.
You don't like high either, do you?
My god was.
You don't like high much either, do you?
Not a fan? Given that...
I remember the first time you were kind of freaking... I remember one of the first times you were on an airship, you were freaking out.
It's what I mean when I say I'm not a fan.
Okay.
Tried to... Well, they instead of the door, they left the tapestry. I tried to give them an appropriately linguistic FU that did not work, because apparently that's an uncuttable tapestry. They could just spawn into existence at will. And then I threw myself out the window.
Clearly, Paylor loves your ass. Pat, Paylor's not the only
I
one.
have faith.
Froseth, is that they didn't do anything too bad to me chill, or just monk shit chill?
How would I just explain what happened? And we'll just leave it at that. The lights came on. I was on a rock floating over water with tentacles. Was told basically they'd disappear and I had to jump from one to the other, telepoint, and then answer questions. I did the jumping part easily enough. And then the first question was something personal I should have had no issue remembering and didn't. And that's a conversation I'm going to have with someone. But,
okay. But
yeah.
Tentacles in water, like, weren't you the one that had the vision with what happened to the Star Coast people?
Yeah.
They were probably trying to play on that, but it doesn't look like they succeeded as well as they did with the rest of us.
Yeah.
Just as well. At least one of us is marginally less. Barnabas, why do you look like you want to punch the entire world in the face?
Because some jackass thinks he can do this without repercussions.
Yeah, could somebody please explain to me why the jackass thinks he can do this without repercussions?
When Aaron was here, our agreement to...
Oh, fuck.
Speaking of, he has said, basically this is going to keep happening until we can give him a good deal. Like, we better make it a good deal to...
Oh my god.
Deal.
So basically, we get teleported to entertainment bullshit because Aaron walked off and left us with his debt.
Yes.
Something like that.
Staying out of any coming up with deal conversations because, well, I just mouthed off to the motherfucker. And two, he's on my list. I'll go along with what y'all decide, but don't ask for my input, please. Because I just assume, no offense, Your Majesty, but I'm fed up.
Which Your Majesty are we talking about here? Because it sounds like we're still okay with Clarity's,
Yeah, she's alright.
Her Majesty has proven
Helped a lot of us.
that she's understanding and how angry we currently are at His Majesty.
Hey, I don't know how Archfey marriages work. Oh, Darvin. Reaches into her bag. Pulls out her Oral Mist tin mug and the bottle of the stuff from Hazel. Pours about a half measure into it. So there's only a little bit of liquid at the bottom of the mug. Here.
Oh, yes, thank you.
Just drink it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Just
Down.
And a little longer than usual, so just we're probably gonna have to trim that, but obviously just a couple of drops too much.
No, I can work with this. This works. Thank you.
It's Agrif. They don't exactly do exact measures.
Nor do they do half measures either.
Something along those lines. So everybody's okay but pissed.
Pretty much.
Good, we're all on the same page. Again, not sure I like this book. Would very much like to take it back to the library. Doesn't look like that's an option. Fine. So... Anybody need to vent about anything at this point? Because we cannot sit on this when we have purple worms and big blue dragons to hunt.
Why are we still tethered to that jackass? I mean, like, Nye left. Why does that fall on us?
Because we promised we'd help him with his duties to them. Just because Her Majesty apparently let us go doesn't mean he did.
He has a vengeful streak and ocean wide.
And I get the impression that for knowing what little I do about these two particular archfey, once they figured out where he was after what was done to him, His Majesty was more interested in him than Her Majesty was. Because he tended to cause more chaos and problematic than he did whimsy and cute. So we apparently have to think of something we can do to pay off this debt, because no, fuck it, I'm calling him Nye. Nye wanders off without even thinking to, nothing but a sorry, Your Majesties, but that's what I've decided?
Sounds like it.
I mean, that's what he did.
Well, yeah, but anyway. We don't really know enough about Archfey to even at this point consider. We've got some time. He doesn't back to back it.
Yeah, but what offer could we possibly bring him? I mean,
we don't know. That's why we go to some place that might, and we read about it.
Ah.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's not us sitting in a room trying to come up with answers when we don't have the facts. I don't think Her Majesty could tell us. I get the impression that they're married largely in name and occasional hate sex. So,
A very, very bizarre mental image. Please don't subject me to that again.
point being, we know of a few places, some more likely to have anything and everything than others. It takes some work on some of our parts to get access to that particular portion of the Silver Vault, but we can do it. But what we can't do is try and take on Jain Narend III with this hanging over our heads. I mean, unless I'm wrong.
Yeah, I'd rather. I think that he'd. Her Majesty's husband would inconvenience us or sabotage us on purpose halfway through whatever we plan on doing. So,
or at the very least, he'd shake us up beforehand like he's done here.
Mm-hmm.
Either way, we get this done because Hjall Fortinbras is expecting us to do it. Mm-hmm. And we've paid off a bit now. And we go and we try to find some godstand information because we can't keep doing this.
Agreed.
At the very least, Clarity, your patron is showing willing, so, you know.
Yeah.
This isn't you. I'm going to be spending most of my evening, I think, saying this. This isn't you. This is
That one that
this is Nye, and this is His Majesty.
Yeah.
Mostly His Majesty, because Her Majesty wasn't being a dick about it. She said, "Okay, he's gone off. Oh, hey, look, here's somebody that I can shower with, power and funny things, and all I need her to be is cute and whimsical. And you do that naturally as breathing anyway." She cut her.
Her attempts at mollifying were unique.
And from Clarity's pocket again. Peep.
there's
That.
The
That.
Snowed on.
fuck? A little tiny dragon head.
Spectral pets of various sorts. Darwin was being snowed on.
And then Clarity is holding up.
My frustration. Would it? When I express my frustration, I'm going to look up. May I ask the favor of you replicating that effect again?
Poof. Multicolored spectral fairy dragons. Multicolored spectral fairy dragons and a very tiny dragon with a clutching a gold coin. Okay.
Yeah, don't try to take the coin.
Yeah, that wasn't even draconic for us. That was. You would have a very, very faint, race memory of this being what dragonborn babies probably sound like before they learn to talk. But.
Just kissing.
Okay, hi. Looking at the little dragon. Beep. Cookies or jerky? The rummages in bag, holds up one of each. Jerky. Yeah. Okay. So if you spend the, can you spend the coin? Does the dragon go with it? What? We can't hear you. There you go.
If I spend the coin, the dragon goes with it. But I don't know what I would spend a dragon and a coin on.
Well, if you ran out of dragon-free coins, and you really needed to, if you ran out of money, I guess.
I'm not spending my dragon on bubblegum, so.
Well, why not? Your dragon might want to live in a candy store for a while.
You know, that actually doesn't sound so bad.
Just don't use it on one of those vending machines.
I don't think you could fit the dragon in the little slot.
I'm just.
I mean, you know.
Okay.
Just
Am I right in thinking that we're getting absolutely zip done for the rest of the evening?
Yeah.
Okay, good, because I have reassurances to cement. So, and rummages in her haversack again and pulls out her dinner date in a can. I can trust y'all to make yourself some dinner, right?
We'll manage.
Good, fine. Come on, Ree.
Remy shuffles along.
Okay, you're gonna want to ditch the armor, because I get it, but dinner dates in full armor plate, probably not the most comfortable thing in the world.
Yeah, okay. Good plan.
And
dork.
yeah, you know, and that, you know, they find a quiet corner, because at the very least, you know, Alice A is largely, well, okay, she's halfway healed. Doesn't require armor. The magic of her greaves and swords now works. And Remy always has her sword to hand, so they're going to be fine in their little privacy bubble of basically it's just, comfy room, little bitty table for two with a nice dinner on it and a sort of a, I mean, it's a bit of a squish for a comfy bed of canoodling, but there it is anyway. Hey, look, when Egref does a dinner date for two, they do it right.
They go
Yeah,
the whole 9 yards, exceed that, keep going for the 2 miles.
Yeah, they started exceeding that when we were discussing what to put into it, and knowing it was for you two, I tried to scale it back a little bit. In the buffery, I think was the term we used at one point.
Yeah, one of the things they would have offered was full on, TARDIS-esque, fancy room a la Tipsy Pixie, which you managed to scale down into a smaller thing because you didn't want them to feel like overdone, but you kept the Tipsy Pixie feel as a sort of a callback to how they met kind of thing.
Yeah, basically. So.
And
simple but nice.
yeah. And they'll be back after they've had their few hours of girlfriend dinner date time. And definitely going to be recommending that Hazel and Clarity pick up one of those for themselves at some point in the morning, though, because they'll be back before morning. But anyway, the rest of you, who is going
I'm
to
recruiting Clarity to help with food.
Yeah, given the various bits and pieces and what have you, you managed to put together something nice and comforting from, the supplies Alice picked up, the cookery books and the war skillet.
Yeah, getting my mileage out of that in every respect.
I'm gonna chew a piece of gum for a minute. Then I'm gonna go up to Barnabas. And I'm gonna say, hey, so nothing happened to either of us, but like me, I wanted to thank Her Majesty for her help. Is that okay?
Fair. That is fair.
I take out the piece of gum and stick it on him and cast levitate.
Yeah, I could just see you sticking it on his tail. And
On like a piece of armor or something.
Well, I was thinking, stick it on the little, just above the little tuft at the end of his tail, and so he's sort of yanked up by his tail, so it's this whole Winnie the Pooh thing kind of going on. Yoop.
Barnabas' expression does not change.
God.
I don't know about
Flipping grumpy Minotaur.
This is completely out of character. I don't know about the rest of you, but His Majesty, Brian has named him Bill.
Although when Clarity has done that and there's hover, there's a certain amount of he's cute. I wonder if he'd be interested in some one-on-one time. and Barnabas, hovering with his expression not changing, sees that expression on Clary's face. You could ask him.
You're up there. Maybe you could ruminate on something. Her Majesty thinks you're cute.
Okay.
There's an offer in there somewhere. The game.
You
just got propositioned by an archfey.
Well, that's a new one. I really should decline.
Is what Clarity hears.
But I'll think. Let me. Yeah. You know what? What the hell?
At which point, Barnabas vanishes. Barnabas does not, strictly speaking, remember in any specifics what happens next. He has the impressions of the following. Absolutely beautiful surroundings. Probably the best experience of that kind that he has ever had. And the sense that he's made an ally of sorts. She was happy enough with the whole situation, and that's the impression he has when he returns in the morning, because we will deal with Barnabas's vague recollections of what happened, and the last impression he gets is that if he fully remembered it, he would be ruined for any other being, male or female, for the rest of his life. So it's just as well that he's got kind of the memories stay vague, but it's one of those once in a lifetime things that, yeah.
Had a regret, wonder about it for the rest of his life. So,
well, you never know if he's lucky and she's interested in metaphorically sticking it to His Majesty by letting Barnabas literally, you know what I mean. Then it might be repeated. You never know. It's Grog and the Dryad all over again.
And of all the directions this could have gone tonight, that is not the one I was expecting.
Congratulations,
Brian.
You are.
Yeah.
You're under the. For tonight, at least, you are under the protection of Her Majesty of Whimsy and Mischief, so it's balm for the soul in a number of different directions. Despite
and interesting.
So we're at about that time, so we'll end on. Barnabas will return in the morning, much less grumpy, still with the intention of murdering jackass Bill the Archfey. The rest of you, the date goes wonderfully, the dinner is nice, your dreams are sweet, and you are all very much aware that for tonight at least, Her Majesty's going to play hands off unless Clarity needs her. For a while after this, because she gets the impression that you're kind of fed up with the whole Archfey bullshit right now. But for the time being, for tonight at least, you are under her protection, and all you are going to have is the sweetest of dreams and the sense of some kind of comfortable pet sleeping on your feet. Even if you can't necessarily see the comfortable pet. Yeah. Ava doesn't really need it. Ava's got butterscotch, and of course,
very much.
Clarity has Sapphire and Hazel.
Now, I'm sure that Hazel has probably mended Butterscotch's ear. Yeah, I can see Ava going.
In some space between. Having Clarity sort out one bit of prep, and I just briefly get derailed by Ava needing repairs.
Well, Butterscotch doesn't deserve this.
We didn't do anything.
Mostly after that, he's just
Scritches and mending in the process.
Yeah, and while enjoying the scritching, clearly is mostly nuzzling up to Ava because knows how much Ava needs the comfort right now. So poof, nuzzle.
Thank you, Hazel.
And on that note, we're at that time, so we will call it for the next 2 weeks, and with an evening of decent recovery, you can go back to your purple worm hunt. Congratulations, even to the one that nearly got himself killed.
What was the top
And
of the
if he was
stuff?
immolated, I wouldn't be able to fix.
Oh, you were gonna keep climbing until you fell.
Oh.
Froseth
When
finally.
it burned to ash, Raise Dead doesn't do anything.
Nope.
Froseth actually did have it the easiest because, once the 3 questions were done, he would have been dropped in anyway, but he would have been caught before he hit the water. So, basically, His Majesty's a dick. Let's get that straight right now. But, Chaos and Misrule, he's gonna be. Look, I was gonna use him a whole hell of a lot differently, but we are where we are. Anyway, I will see y'all, obviously other places, but for D&D in 2 weeks' time. There it is.